I'll never forget that Halloween night, it still haunts me to this day. It was a few years back, and like most people in their early 20s, we were chasing adrenaline. Haunted houses, ghost tours, anything that promised a thrill, that's where we wanted to be. That year, a new haunted attraction had opened just on the edge of our town. It was called the Hollows. The whole town was buzzing about it. Supposedly, it was unlike any haunted house anyone had experienced before, interactive, unscripted, and terrifyingly real. It was me and my 3 friends, Liam, Maya, and Theo. We were all skeptical at first. We'd been to enough haunted houses to know most of the time it was just smoke, mirrors, and screaming teenagers. But the Hollows felt different the second we walked up to it. It was an old, creaky Victorian house that looked like it had been plucked straight out of a horror movie. No bright signs, no ticket booth, just a handwritten board stuck into the ground that said "Enter if you dare." We went in without hesitation. The entry room was strange. It wasn't scary at first, just wrong. The wallpaper was torn and stained, and there were broken dolls scattered across the floor, staring up with their glassy, cracked eyes. A dusty chandelier hung crooked from the ceiling, swaying as though someone had just bumped into it. The air was cold, unnaturally cold. There was no guide. Just a note on the wall that read, "Find the key in the dark. The house doesn't let you leave without it." We laughed it off at first. Classic haunted house theatrics, right? But as we moved from room to room, things started getting weirder. We'd hear whispers behind the walls. The floorboards didn't just creak, they groaned, like they were in pain. In one of the rooms, there was a mirror that didn't reflect us. Just shadows. At some point, we realized we were walking in circles. Every hallway started to look the same. Maya pointed out that the pictures on the walls were changing. One moment it was a family portrait, the next it was just empty chairs. We passed the same grandfather clock 4 times, and each time, the hands moved backward. That's when we found the basement door. None of us wanted to go down there, but the note said we had to find the key, and we hadn't found it upstairs. The basement steps creaked under our feet as we descended. It was pitch black. The kind of black that makes you feel like you're being swallowed whole. No flashlights were allowed, they'd made that clear when we entered. We huddled close, our hands stretched out in front of us, bumping into walls and each other. Suddenly, Theo shouted that he found something. A desk. He felt around and found a small, cold metal object. It was a key. Right then, Maya screamed. She said someone had touched her neck. Not brushed against it, grabbed it. We all froze. Nobody had moved. We tried to convince her it was just nerves, but deep down, we all felt it. Something was down there with us. We bolted upstairs, not even looking back. We just wanted out. We found the exit door, used the key, and burst outside, gasping for fresh air like we'd been underwater. There was a bin with a sign that read "Drop keys here." We tossed it in and started walking back to the car. That should have been the end of it. About a block away from the house, Liam noticed someone behind us. At first, we thought it was another guest. But they were wearing a mask, an old, cracked porcelain face with red tears painted down the cheeks. And they weren't walking like a guest, they were just standing. Watching. We kept walking. So did they. We stopped. So did they. Theo, being the joker he is, shouted, "All right, man, the show's over. We dropped the key, if that's what you want." No response. We walked faster. The figure matched our pace. We ran. So did they. By the time we were a few blocks from Liam's house, we weren't laughing anymore. This had gone from creepy to threatening. Liam's parents were home, so we made a beeline for his place. As we turned onto his street, I looked back. The figure was still following us, but now, they were running too. We reached the front door, but it was locked, and Liam's key wasn't working for some reason. He cursed, said the lock had been jamming lately, and told us to follow him to the backyard. There was another way in. We ran around the side of the house and slammed the gate shut behind us. And then we heard it. The creak of the gate. He was in the backyard. This time, he didn't stop walking. He picked up speed, his porcelain mask catching the moonlight as he closed the distance. Liam flung open the back door and yelled for his dad. What happened next happened fast. Liam's dad stormed into the yard with a shotgun in his hands. The masked figure froze. His hands went up immediately. He started pleading, saying he was only 25, that it was part of the act, that he didn't mean to scare us that much. But here's the thing, the Hollows never mentioned actors following guests after the attraction. That was never part of the experience. Liam's dad yelled at him to get out. Told him if he ever came back, he wouldn't hesitate to shoot. The guy backed off, still pleading, and disappeared into the night. The next day, we called the Hollows. They told us flat out, none of their actors wear porcelain masks. No one is allowed to follow guests once they leave the property. And most chilling of all, they didn't even hire anyone who matched the description we gave. To this day, we don't know who that man was. We never went back to the Hollows. A few months later, it shut down for good. Rumors started swirling that someone had gone missing inside the house. But nothing was ever confirmed. No investigation, no arrest, nothing. All I know is, something was wrong with that place. And someone, or something still roams those halls.